Welcome everybody to episode 148 of The China Show. Boy, do we have one for you today. The Chinese government is in disarray, scrambling around the place. In fact, I feel as if the Chinese government has kind of turned Japanese. You know why?
Why?
Because they keep saying Ohio, Ohio, Ohio.
Yeah.
You know, in Japanese, Ohio gozaimasu, or Ohio means good morning. And that's all you're hearing out of the mouthpieces. Ohio and some shit about balloons.
You know what's interesting?
What?
Is that the Chinese government keeps blaming the U.S. for using the balloon as a distraction for Ohio.
Yes.
And it is the most hypocritical thing you've ever seen possibly in your entire life.
Yeah.
Today is 100% the most hypocritical episode we've ever had.
You're going to see some crazy stuff. The Chinese government, like we said, they're running around like a chicken without a head, trying their absolute best to divert away from the mistakes that they made.
And we've definitely found, through trial and error, what has pissed them off the most. So we'll hone in on that today.
I think so. Anyway, let's get right into it. We'll saunter right into it with What's New, where we talk about what's new. And, recently for the Chinese New Year, we had this gala. You know the gala?
Yeah, it's like what's it called? It's like a New Year's show where they have all the biggest talent and the best CCP cadres come up, and everyone gives each other face.
Yeah,
and it's like a variety show of the most tame variety. Like it's boring party pro-nationalist stuff, right?
It's a song and dance show.
It's song and dance and a little bit of comedy here and there, but it's like,
dude,
like
if you've
lowbrow.
lived in China, you've been subjected to this. If you have Chinese family, you've been subjected to this. You cannot escape it. It's almost mandatory for everybody to watch every year.
By the way, thank you for Cherry Blossom Tarot, who's gifting all these people memberships. Really appreciate that.
Really, really awesome of you. Thank you for becoming a member if you are one, by the way. It's fantastic. All right. So anyway, I'll put it behind us. This is your typical Chinese CCTV gala. Okay. And it is the biggest show. It's the most viewed show, like almost mandatory.
In the world,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's mandatory viewing for everyone. So you're having a New Year's dinner or whatever, you'll get together with your family. This is always on in the background.
Yeah.
You can't escape it, right?
Yes.
So they had a little song and dance number, as they always do. And people were like, hang on, that's kind of familiar. So we'll just
Some
play.
people in the know.
Yeah, we'll play that, okay? So let's listen to this. Okay, and some people are like, hey, I know that song. That's like one of the outros to one of my favorite animes.
Yeah.
Japanese animations.
Let's see if it sounds similar.
Okay. They can't even make up their own shit for
They can't
that.
even make their own nationalist bullshit.
I know, it's ridiculous. Like, okay, it's just comedic at this point. Because don't forget, this is the biggest, most produced, most watched show on Chinese television every year.
Right.
And they can't even come up with their own like music for their song and dance numbers.
Because China, under the Chinese Communist Party, it's a land of plagiarism.
Yep.
And that's because creativity and ingenuity is not rewarded. In fact, it's punished because you want to cut as many corners as you can to get what you know, under whatever the system allows. You need to get your bit, right?
The thing is, it's also easy to get away with it for a long time because of the cutoff from the outside world. The rest of the world's censored, right?
Yes.
Like you can't watch that Japanese anime on Chinese TV. It's not there.
No, you can stream it on Bilibili.
Yeah, you should be able to stream it on Bilibili. Well, it depends. You know, they ban a lot of them. I don't know about that particular one. Yeah. Either way, the fact is, when the Communist Party guy who put this together, when he stole it, he's like, they're never going to find out, you know? And he shows it to his bosses, and they're like, wow, that's good. That sounds great. You came up with that yourself?
They probably said, like, wow, like something like, wow, so good.
Oh, yeah, that's correct. They were like,
wow, so good.
That Rick would say that about the gala.
Oh, yeah.
But what would he feel about the anime representation?
Oh, yeah, you know.
Wow, that's a little too much for me.
Yeah.
You know the...
Just play it one more time back to back for everyone to
you know what the... Hold on.
Right, okay.
Do you know what the Chinese government would say in responses? If they had an official response, they would say, in the face of all truth, that the Japanese anime copied the gala.
Even though it's like 10 years old or whatever, yeah. Yeah, they'll say it's an ancient Chinese song from like 1,000 years ago.
For real, in the balloon, the same vein as the balloon stuff.
Yeah.
They would do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, let's play it back to back for you.
You know, it's even worse the more you play it because we couldn't actually play it out. The whole song is plagiarized.
Yeah, exactly.
Verbatim. It's not one clip. And I was worried that people might think, oh, it's just the beginning. No, the whole song is plagiarized. Yeah. It's just we can't play the whole thing because they'll copyright.
We'll get a copyright strike.
Ironically, we'll get punished for for calling out the Chinese government's plagiarism.
You know who will copyright strike us as well? Will be the Chinese one, not the original one. They love doing that. Anyway, what we've got over here is fairly dystopian. You may have seen this under a bridge. This is quite common.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll see this in certain parts of China, especially like you'll see it on bridges. You'll see it where there's kind of a scenic thing. I don't know why they're all under the bridge. Maybe it's because it's raining and they had to move.
Oh, I know.
Why?
You got to let me talk about it. This is my expertise. You know,
okay,
you
go
always
for
say
it.
I love TikTok. And all this crap, right?
Yeah.
No, they're doing this for a very specific reason. There's hotspots in China, which actually prioritize the algorithm depending on location. So when you fire up your location, that's why you'll see there's multiple clips you'll see of this, people in one spot kind of like lined up.
Yeah.
It'll reward you if you're in the CBD of a certain district of a certain big city, Shanghai, Beijing, Wuhan, all of these like kind of rich areas.
For TikTok.
For Douyin,
yeah, Douyin is TikTok. It's the same thing.
Same thing, yeah. And all the other Chinese streaming apps. There's a billion, Kuaishou, and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, what it'll do is everyone in China will allow location services, of course, because it's just what you do.
Yeah.
And it will
You have to.
Yeah.
You can't pay with your WeChat Pay and stuff without the location services of your phone on.
Yeah. So anyway, the algorithm will say, oh, they're in this very wealthy area that has, good scenery, and it's like a lot of foot traffic, and it's just where they are. They prioritize those people as opposed to a live streamer that'll be out in rural Sichuan or Guizhou, right?
But why are they under the bridge?
Because that's one of the hotspots that they found.
I bet you it's raining.
Dude, I'm not
Look at the floor, it's wet.
That's great. That's fine. Have you seen the 50 other clips of this?
I know, but what I'm saying is
they're on a bridge, but not under a bridge.
Yeah, but these, I think they would normally be on the bridge.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Because they'd be in the same geolocation.
Yes, yeah.
They're all under the bridge, obviously, because it's raining. Look, it's wet on the floor.
Yeah, so usually, most of the clips I've seen, they are on top.
They're like lined on a bridge or whatever. Anyway, look at how ridiculous is it. It's just a farm at this point.
This is dystopia.
It's like a pig farm, but except for streamers.
Yeah.
You know, like we showed last time, that pig farm in the high rise?
It's like in a high rise now.
Everyone has to get their angle so you can't see the other people. So
Part of me feels bad.
It's not good.
I don't want to be a boomer, but this is the end of the world stuff.
Dude,
this is the fall of Rome stuff.
Remember, if you go to my channel, to the Serpents at 8 channel, I have as my channel ad or whatever playing is my documentary. It's called Stay Awesome China.
Yeah.
Remember, I went to one of those streaming houses where they actually stream.
Yeah.
And the girls live in the house.
Yeah.
And they basically
eat,
sleep, wake up, stream for like 5, 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever. Sleep for a couple hours, wake up, stream more.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's exploitation. It's disgusting. It's a horrible thing.
When I go through this, and unfortunately too, like a lot of these girls are. I think a lot of this in the beginning was this idea that Chinese girls are being empowered because now they have their own way to make money. But a lot of them are kind of run by digital pimps in a way.
No, they
because a lot of them, you are in a very ethical one that was obviously signed off on that you're allowed to look at. There are some,
of course,
dark
but
things.
even that one was sus. It was like there was a digital pimp there.
Yeah.
Okay, and they take all the money that the girls get off their gifts and give them their salary.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like a big percentage. A lot of these women will basically, you know what I've been reading, and / I actually talked to a friend that knows what's been happening, at least in Guangdong where we used to live. They'll get basically migrant workers of these girls from rural villages or rural areas, and then they now have a debt. They now have a debt of like 50. I have 50,000 debt. You're gonna have to pay off through all these gifts that you earn.
Yes.
And then I'll let you stay here, and you can use the software, and you can use our user base and all this kind of stuff. And then anything on top of that you can keep. And these girls are like, okay, and they move to the big city, and they end up basically being a factory worker, or those gold farmers, back on World of Warcraft and stuff, paying off their debt eternally. And it is just like a new digital slavery.
It's all fake rubbish too, because the girls, I don't want to go back to the documentary again, but if you watch it, like I sat in front of one of the streaming computers, and it made me look like an alien.
Yeah.
It took away my beard.
I want to say you were pretty, but you weren't.
No.
It made you worse.
It was terrible. It took away my beard. It made my chin all pointy. It smoothed out my skin, made my eyes massive, And
they turned it up to 11.
It was ridiculous. So, with all the filters they've got going on there, they could put anything there, anyone.
They do. I mean, we have a lot of clips you see on our Monday episodes. We've played some of these, but they'll have 50, 60-year-old women that look absolutely gorgeous 25-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of these filters.
Anyway, it's kind of dystopian. We wanted to just touch on that. Let's move on. We got a lot to cover.
Yes. Yeah, today's packed. So
this is disgusting.
This is so bad. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
so bad.
This Zhang Meifang is the Consul General for Belfast, okay, in Ireland, and she used to be in Toronto. She's, Chinese government official. Tweeted out that this bridge built by China in Turkey withstood the earthquake. Anyway, turns out that this bridge was 1,000 kilometers away from the earthquake, first of all. Second of all, wasn't built by China, it was built by South Korea.
I mean, that was the most insane thing, is that this went out everywhere, and this went out with the shills that work for the Chinese government. This went out through diplomatic accounts like this. Official Chinese state media was putting out here that this bridge somehow miraculously survived this horrible earthquake. And we saw them do this. You're talking about this in your video tomorrow, but the stolen valor that has been going on with China trying to claim that they've rescued everyone and planting their flags everywhere. It's been super, super gross.
Yeah.
It's the best way to put it. It's just wicked gross.
Yeah, you can stick around. My video tomorrow is going to be all about that. I go in depth on that kind of nonsense. But, there was a Chinese company connected to this bridge. And it was a subcontractor that did the aerostatic wind test. That's all. They didn't build the bridge. It had nothing to do with the bridge.
They didn't build the bridge, and it wasn't even near the earthquake.
Yes. So the bridge has nothing to do with China, but the way they made it out is if Chinese construction is so great that this bridge withstood the earthquake in Turkey. I mean, it's disgusting.
Take us out of there so I can just read.
It's got nothing. Yeah, go ahead.
So Zhang Meifang, the Chinese, for all you listeners that can't read here, so Zhang Meifang is the Chinese official, says the bridge built by China in Turkey's withstood. She put Turkey's.
Oh man,
Turkey's plural with the ownership. Withstood the earthquake. #China Tech.
Yes.
And then this guy Levent Kamal said, "I have some bad news for you. The Kanakale Bridge was built by Turkish and South Korean companies. The other companies were subcontractors. The Chinese company did the elastic wind test." Bye.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Yeah, so and we've seen this multiple times now where they have gone to disaster areas, made people wait, put the flag down, and be like, pose for photos, be like, we rescued all these people. Meanwhile, all the other rescue workers are doing this without any sort of recognition from other countries because that's their job and that's what good people do.
Exactly. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going in depth into that one, so keep an eye out for the Serpents a Day video tomorrow on that. But about this whole fake thing, this really is just fantastic. Just a fantastic example of when you see any kind of propaganda coming out of China, you have to understand that this is what you're dealing with here. Now, this is a fantastic expose. It's called Stage Reality by, I don't even know how to say this dude's name.
We got to give proper credit.
Well, that's why it's up there.
Yeah, Gilles Sabrier, I guess.
Yeah, it shows Gilles. Could be like Gilles or something,
Could be. Anyway, he is a Beijing-based corporate photographer, editorial and corporate photographer, and he did this great piece, and it's not. I would not call it an expose. I'd actually just say it's like a real representation of what you see.
Yeah.
And let me set the stage here because I have a lot of background in people that work for the government and take photographs without mentioning names. But basically in China, you have this huge phenomenon where if you get money, one of the most popular hobbies to get into for like 50, 60-year-old people, the lost generation people that get rich, is to get a massively expensive camera.
Yeah.
And then massively expensive array of lenses,
right?
Yeah. You go out there and you try to find the most natural experience, right? And you go and get your photos.
You got to look hard.
But anyway, because China has been destroyed, a lot of the country has been destroyed by, development and just the ecology has been ripped apart, industrialization, all this kind of stuff. We, like, for example, when we rode around the country, rode around the entire country to film our documentaries, we would try to find the most hidden beauty that you could find in China, and it exists. It exists.
Of course it does.
The problem with that is that it exists off the main roads.
Yes.
It exists off the highway system. It exists away from the high-speed rails.
Yeah.
You will never, a lot of these people that go to, I'm not trying to be hipster, but if you try to go to China, and you go there for a couple weeks, and people are like, yeah, I went to China, and they have all their, main photographs. They didn't get to see the actual country where the majority of people live.
Yeah.
That stuff's off the main roads, right? And China doesn't want you to see that part.
Yeah.
So what they have is these designated tourist zones where you go with your camera and you stand on a deck somewhere that they've built, and they literally have people set a scene. And I'll set one for you. A family member of mine just went to Xinjiang, they went to go see the famous, Uyghur horseback riders or Kazakh horseback riders in Xinjiang, right?
Yeah.
Of course, these people exist, but not in the AAAA tourist zone,
No,
right?
no.
Not off the main highway.
No.
So they go there and they pay a guy. He puts on an outfit, right?
Mm-hmm.
They get a radio. They go, okay, go out there now. He goes and gallops with a bunch of horses there, and all the eyes and shoes, 55, 60, 70 years old.
Yeah, aunties and uncles.
Take out their massive, expensive cameras,
Yeah.
have it on shutter.
Yeah.
Okay, go back. Go back. We're going to do that again.
Yeah, whip the horse.
That
It didn't
wasn't
jump
fast.
enough.
That wasn't fast enough, so can you whip the horse this time?
Yeah.
Whip the horse. And meanwhile, behind them is a bunch of ramshackle crap, newly built buildings, right?
Yeah.
Which have nothing to do with this expansive, beautiful scene that they set up in this
It's
little
all a
area.
facade.
And this is a lot of how China works, right? And this guy put together this great, he's a photographer, put together this great
Let's show some of it.
thing. Yeah, and I just want to read some of the captions from it.
Okay.
By the way, the link is in the description. Check out his other work as well.
Yeah. So what do you see here? If we were to just look at this picture, you see like a village woman walking with a bunch of geese, right? And then you see them burning some straw to create like a mist effect. You see all the people lined up to take photos, because that's what they're there for. They paid to go there to get this photo. They want a photo of like a rural-looking woman walking through the rural countryside with geese.
Yeah, before we got into this, I just wanted to say one more thing. I want you to have some context in mind. When you see these beautiful things about China on TikTok or on YouTube,
Think Li Ziqi.
Think Li Ziqi.
Yeah.
You got to understand, have that in mind.
Yeah.
Have all these beautiful scapes in your mind when you
Yeah.
see this. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So
you have, you have like a good 30, 40 people there lined up to get their photo.
Yeah.
Right?
it's pretty slow.
You told me to hang it on each photo.
Yeah.
So you have, you hit just a different perspective.
I'll
of
get us
this.
out of here so people can see it properly.
You can explain it to the people listening.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, here's the deal. These very beautiful photos, and we'll show you that we've got examples. Well, he's got examples in this of the end result, like this particular like fishing. I don't know what it is, shrimp fishing or whatever it is. This particular place. Look at the bridge there with all the photographers on it. I know a guy. You've been here, right?
Yep, I have.
I know another guy who's a good friend of mine who's a professional photographer. He went there.
Xiapu Village.
Yeah, that's right. He went there and he was telling me about how ridiculous it was that, it's almost impossible to get a good shot because everyone's jostling to get the photos from the bridge.
Yeah.
So then what happens is they hire this fisherman.
$30.
Yeah. And he or she will go out there and pretend to be on a boat or whatever. Got nothing to do with actually fishing or anything. In fact, whether they even fish there or not.
This one, they use a loudspeaker, a
Right.
megaphone.
Yeah.
Over on the bridge, like, okay, go back.
Yeah, do it again.
We have a few people that didn't get the photo.
Yeah.
We're going to have you go back. And actually, that boat has a shitty little motor on it. But they take
Yeah.
it off for the photo shoot.
Sure. It reminds me of those cormorant fishermen in Yangshuo as well.
So
it's the same.
fake. People are like, I went to
Yeah.
southern China. I saw
So
these
take
birds.
a look. This is the end result. This is the kind of picture that you end up getting, right? And it looks idyllic and it looks amazing, doesn't it? It looks beautiful.
The problem, though, is that everyone wants that exact same
Yes,
photo.
they've seen that photo. And
Yeah.
when you go to these sites, they will have like a board saying like you can get this
I
photo.
put that in
Oh,
there,
you
yeah,
did? Good. And of course that mist over there is fake. That's just like they're burning straw and like wafting the smoke over to get that effect.
Play it.
The villages are fake. The cow's real. The ox is real, but it's not.
You know what they do?
What?
When they're not posing, just play it. Yeah. When they're
Yeah.
not posing for photos, they tie up the cow
Yeah.
and put him next to the billboard.
Yeah,
as
it's
the
like an ad. Yeah, yeah. Because you see, here's again fantastic work by the
Gillis,
guy
yeah.
Gillis or Gilles or whatever, however you say her name is. But this is a great expose. See, they're burning the straw to create the fog effect.
And the farmers are putting on outfits, by the way.
Of course, that like we've been into the rural countryside. It doesn't look that like that exactly.
You can see the people.
Yeah, it's just kind of a crazy dog and pony show. This is how Chinese propaganda works, though. It's all about creating an image of something that's idealistic, something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So here, take a look. It shows.
Yeah, get us
it
out of
actually
there.
shows the advert of the picture you're
That's
gonna get.
the photo you're going to get. And it's like, if you've come here for this photo, this is where you do it.
Yeah.
You pay the money, and they have the ox, the
Yeah.
water buffalo, tied up
Yeah.
to the sign.
Yeah, so it works as an advertisement.
Yeah.
And it shows you that's the photo you're going to get. Come and, you pay us a certain amount, we'll set it up for you, and then you come get your photo.
It's so dystopian.
It's conformity as well, isn't it? It's like, how about doing your own thing? How about getting a natural photo?
That's why we got our documentaries, not to like toot our own horn, but we filmed so much of real China that's actually beautiful.
So yeah, here you have all the photographers lined up. So you obviously pay, and then you go find your spot on these.
This is for the fishermen.
Yeah. On these different levels. You probably pay more for like a higher level or something.
Definitely, and you get there's a guy with a radio there that's talking to the fishermen.
Yeah, there we go. You can actually see him right there.
Yeah, there he is.
So it's like, hey, make sure you got a little to the left, a little to the right.
We have some CCP officials here on the top, so we're going to have you go back and do that again.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's actually not a joke.
No, they'll say that. Let me get us out of there for a minute. Yeah. Yeah, that's for this particular sort of fisherman thing. And, like you've been there. I got friends who've been there. I got photos from there. Actually, I should have put them in. Yeah, you should have. Well, we don't want to spoil his expose. These are all his photos. Copyright, Gillette, the best a man can get. And there again, can you see on the signpost? They're like, you can get this photo.
It's like with the stock, like the Baidu image of a camera. It's like,
and I love the guys wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat.
There's literally the local Chinese guy, right?
Yeah,
with the camera is, for all you listeners, is wearing a MAGA hat.
Yeah, which is kind of bizarre
in China.
It's very bizarre. Yeah.
Anyway, take whatever you want with that
pretty
information.
Bizarre. Just saying.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah.
That billboard is key.
Yeah.
So this woman here, it's crazy, but like. People will this is so China. You have to understand this. In China, someone will see this famous photo of this woman. They'll be like, I have to go take the picture of the woman, not my own version. I'm not gonna, in my mind, what I would do is I'll see something and be like, wow, I heard about the Miao people.
Yeah.
So I'll go out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of Guizhou, and find my own village that I found that's not on the tourist path and be like, and talk to people. This is like, no, we're going to go here, get off, we're going to eat this noodle dish.
Yeah.
And this is the woman I saw in the magazine.
Yeah, this is the one we're going to...
The woman.
I mean, think about it. There's that very famous National Geographic picture of, I think it's an Afghan refugee or something, with the green eyes.
Yeah.
Now, that's a famous photo, and it's a very striking photo. So just imagine they turn that into a cottage industry, and they're like, okay, you can come take
Here's
the same photo.
The green eye woman.
And they put her there, and they're like, okay, look that way, put that same expression on your face, make sure the lighting's the same. Okay, now you can take the same photo. Yeah. That's what we're dealing with here.
This old lady, she gets paid about 100 RMB per session, like shoot, right?
Yeah.
So she'll be there, and they'll have the hordes of people come up. She even has example photos in the back.
Yeah, example photo of herself.
Come take a photo with the lady. She must be so confused. Like, why is everyone taking my photo?
Yeah, I know. It's lame. It's so lame. Yeah. It's just conformity. It's an interesting phenomenon.
It is.
But you see, again, it's like you can get this photo
this is
here.
The example. Yeah, right here.
It's printed out and put on the little heel there.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, before we continue with our show, we're going to get into the main topic, which it's going to blow your mind. I don't even want to spoil it for you. So let's just hear. You have to hear a word from our sponsor, Athletic Greens, first. Most important thing on a bike trip: beer. And the most important thing for a healthy lifestyle is a healthy diet.
And that's why I'm proud to say this video is brought to you by Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day, and originally I wanted to give it a try because I wanted better gut health, I wanted increased energy, I wanted immune system support, and I hate taking all these like 10 pounds of vitamins and pills and all these vegetables and stuff. It's so much more convenient to take AG1 in the morning before I even drink my coffee. It makes me feel amazing because I know I just did something really good for my body. It's got all the vitamins I need. It's got everything that my body craves throughout the day. Taking AG1 is so easy. It's the easiest thing you can do under a minute. It's 1 scoop of powder mixed with water once a day, and it's been part of millions of mornings since 2010. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/ADV. That's athleticgreens.com/ADV. Check it out.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, by the way, to Athletic Greens for sponsoring us. And
when you support them, you support the channel.
Absolutely. And it's actually a product we stand behind. I still take my AG1 every day. It helps a lot. So let's get on to this whole copium, whatever you want to call it. Let's move into the soft power hour, which is our main segment, We talk about how China's trying to change your mind through just brute force propaganda, basically.
Yeah, this is gonna be a cluster F of info for you guys. Try to keep up.
So, first of all, I have a question for you, Seamilk.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that there was something that happened in Ohio? Because apparently it's been like completely hidden, and it's like nobody's reporting on it. The news won't touch it. Nobody even wants to mention it.
Wait, what happened there?
I'm not Ohio.
Oh,
No, but seriously, that is what China wants you to believe. Everyone, for those of you who might not have heard it because it's in media blackout, apparently, there was a train derailment in Ohio, and a horrible chemical, vinyl chloride, escaped. There was a big explosion, and it's really affected the environment, and we've got some dying fish and frogs and stuff. It's not ideal. It's a horrible disaster.
it's awful.
And you know what?
What?
I did a little bit of fact checking because, I kept seeing the Chinese government officials putting things out on Twitter and on social media saying, nobody's talking about this. America's trying to sweep it under the rug. It's hidden news. I'm like, it was on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC.
Everywhere.
I've seen
It was the top story.
nonstop on also on other social media like YouTube and everywhere.
Yeah.
It's very well-known news.
On our local Pikey News, I saw it.
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
Yeah, it's
We're
everywhere.
not that far away from it, granted. But that being said, it was quite literally the news of the day.
Yeah.
I don't understand why
Anyway,
you're saying this.
So what's happening with China is, of course, they're still left with their pants down because of this spy balloon. Okay.
Yes.
We've covered that to death. We're going to talk about it a little bit more in this episode, but we all know the spy balloon came through American airspace and violated various countries' airspace.
Yeah.
And it got shut down, and it turned out it was a surveillance balloon, not a weather balloon.
Yep.
It's got all the antenna and all the
It's a spy
equipment.
balloon.
It's a spy balloon. I mean, it's been confirmed that it's not a meteorological balloon. It's not there like taking wind velocity or something.
Yes.
So China's trying its best to swing things around. And we're going to show you a little clip here. I'll bring it up. Hua Chunying, who is the Chinese government official, she's the spokesperson, okay?
Yeah.
Foreign spokesperson for China. So we're talking big, top, okay? Think about it like a White House, when you have a White House press secretary or whatever, right? White House speaker goes out there and like speaker, whatever they got, and they make an announcement.
Big,
okay?
It would be big. It represents the White House. This represents Beijing.
Yes, this represents. So what does she put out? Let's look.
We'll read it first.
Okay, yeah, you read it, please.
Now we know why the U.S. government fussed over a wandering balloon to take people's eyes off the chemical explosion. #Ohio Chernobyl. Clearly for Washington, the balloon is much more important than American safety and health. I mean, when you see what China's been covering up, you will understand the absurd hypocrisy here.
Absolutely. Now, first of all, the balloon thing happened before this. Okay?
Yes.
The balloon thing is a national security thing. It's huge, okay? It's about another country invading your airspace.
Yes.
The Ohio thing is a disaster. It's a horrible accident, and it's terrible for the environment. No one's shying away from it.
No.
It's two different unrelated things.
It's such disinfo.
Yeah.
Such disinfo to say that it's being hushed up.
So what did she... Just listen to this garbage that she put out there. Okay. Well...
It'll go.
Will it?
No, that's sorry.
This is previous to that? Oh, here we go.
These aren't storm clouds. This is the fucking shit that they burn off. The fucking shit they burn off.
I mean, I just want to say, very classy for your foreign spokesperson to put swearing, conspiracy theory, weird.
Like it's a guy that's exacerbated over this. I get that.
Yeah.
But why are you? That's your state message from Beijing, and then with like trashy music over the background.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah. So,
how old are you?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? So she is sharing out this Ohio Chernobyl using some real over-the-top dramatic BS.
I could expect something like this on YouTube or like a YouTube short or a TikTok or something.
Not the official spokesperson. That's something you guys have to remember. the Chinese government is horribly immature, not diplomatic in the least. This is their diplomat. This is one of their top diplomats. This Hua Chunying is the one going out there to speak to other countries on behalf of China.
Yes.
Okay? And she's putting this shit out.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's not personal opinion.
Oh.
Wait.
Yeah.
Before you move on, I think I know how that happened to that frog, by the way.
What? Oh.
Poor guy.
That's what happened to the frog.
Yes. That's the real clip.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to put any dramatic music over it.
So just a couple of things here. Zhang Heqing, who's also a Chinese government official, is putting out these global times, of course, about like, oh, look, it's like an apocalypse in Ohio.
Yeah.
He's like, U.S. public opinion is controlled by political and public opinion elites. I don't think these people realize that everyone is pissed off about this Ohio thing.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying like, oh, it's nothing.
It was really, really clever of them, though. I give props to the Chinese government's disinfo campaign, because if you tell enough people that the U.S. swept it under the rug and no one's talking about it and it's media blackout, there's a bunch of the population that didn't watch anything. And if they hear it through that, they'll be like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. Again, Hua Chunying, many Americans and U.S. media saw a balloon flying at 20,000 meters, yet failed to see the black smoke of #Ohio derailment.
Who doesn't know about that?
Exactly.
And again, they're trying to conflate. They hope that people don't try to line up dates.
Yeah.
The fact that, like you said, the balloon happened way before this.
Yes, and it's a completely different thing.
Yeah, it's unrelated.
You cannot try to like match the two together because a national security threat and ingress compared to a natural disaster, well, not natural disaster, a industrial chemical disaster. They're two separate things. They've got nothing to do with each other.
No.
You know? So anyway, let's see what else they have to say here. Look, I could have filled this entire episode with this garbage that they're putting out there. You know, like U.S. media pick of headlines, catastrophic toxic chemicals leak in Ohio. And it's like, no, and harmless civilian unmanned airship.
There?
Yeah.
That, I mean...
Don't even use our memes, bro. You know?
Well, that meme's dead to me because, like, when I saw corporations using that shit.
Yeah.
But
and the
when
Chinese
the CCP
government
uses it, you know that meme is dead.
Yeah,
That's when you just take it out back, you put it out to best, you let it go in the field.
Exactly.
Because, and by the way, it wasn't a harmless civilian unmanned airship, by the way.
No.
It was a spy balloon, but there's still, if they have enough disinfo leading up to this meme, then they can throw it in there and hope nobody notices.
I also don't understand what he's saying. He said, in the eyes of U.S. media, environment is dear. People's life is
in the eyes.
Is dearer. I don't know. Both can be given up for political correctness. What does this have to do with political correctness?
Because they know that if certain people see that word, they'll be like, yeah. Political correctness. I hate that PC shit.
Yeah, what is the explosion in Ohio political correctness?
Apparently.
And shooting down a balloon is political correctness? Okay, whatever.
People will be like, yeah, you're right. Why do we even care about that balloon?
Yeah. Hua Chunying again. Apparently some in the U.S. take a wandering civilian balloon as a big threat, while the explosion, trail derailment, and toxic leak not. #Ohio Chernobyl. Okay, here's the thing that's starting to really annoy me about this. The Ohio... whatever you want to call this, industrial disaster.
Yes.
It's not Chernobyl. It's not even close.
No.
Okay? Number 2, nobody died.
Not yet.
Yeah. Nobody died.
Right.
I'm not saying that
not
they
downplaying it.
Nobody died.
But it's not that. It's not Chernobyl. Let's not mix things up here.
So I just wanted to harken back a little bit to a few things that have happened in China. Now, please, this looks like us doing whataboutism. Okay? But there's a reason why we have to show this, okay? Let's look. Tianjin in 2015. I'll get us out of here.
We were there.
Yep, this is why we're here. Well, we're there. Okay, now these are in like populated areas, by the way. I just have to bring this back. These are like, in the middle of a city.
Do you know how many people died in that?
Well, in that particular one,
we don't know.
We will never know.
Do you know why?
Because they don't.
Because it was covered up.
It was super covered up.
It was actually covered up.
When we were in China during that time, when that happened, we only found out about it from international news.
Yes.
It was not reported in the Chinese
Winston and
news.
I had to learn about this while we were in China from American news sources.
Yeah, they tried their best to cover it up in the beginning, even though it was impossible.
They arrested people. They disappeared people that were trying to get the news out.
They tried to make it sound like, oh yeah, their official death toll was like 140 people or something. No way. No.
Oh my.
Destroyed
if you look at the square area of where the actual satellite imagery of what happened, it's physically impossible.
Anyway, we have a point to this. Like I said, it's not whataboutism. Here's just 2019, okay, as well. Now, here's the most important one. Okay, I'm just playing it in the background. In 2018, okay, where was this one again?
Shijiazhuang.
Shijiazhuang. 2018, there was a chemical explosion. Now, this is important. Listen here. The reason it's important is because it was vinyl chloride that exploded. The same as what happened in Ohio. It's exactly the same chemical. Except this time, 22 people were killed. 23 people were killed and 20-something were injured. All right?
In vinyl chloride explosion.
So a vinyl chloride explosion, the exact same thing. So I'm comparing apples to apples here, okay? Yeah. This is a PVC factory. They were making PVC pipes or something, and they had a gas leak of this vinyl chloride, which caused the explosion, which resulted in immediate 23 deaths and 20-some-odd injuries. Most of the injuries came from truck drivers, but people that were in dormitories and stuff around the factory vaporized, okay? So China's got a hell of a nerve to call this Ohio Chernobyl. What about this, This is right near Beijing as well. It's like 150 kilometers outside of Beijing.
And you know what's crazy? These are the ones that got through, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how many
I didn't hear about this one either.
I didn't
This is
hear
in 2018.
When we lived there.
I was there.
I didn't hear about it.
Nope. So just pointing this out, that they use these tragedies and these disasters for their political gain.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I don't see the international media using tragedy like this against China.
They literally, when millions of people die of something, or like COVID or something, they use it as political ammo. They make fun. State media in China makes fun of Indian people for dying.
Yes.
Of COVID.
They make fun of Americans. They kept using that, like, oh, Americans suck. So many of them died while we were safe.
This wolf warrior diplomacy shit's still going on.
Yeah.
I mean, they're basically pointing fingers at the Ohio incident and then saying you shouldn't be paying attention to this balloon because you're covering up this event that's widely covered. Yeah. It's insane.
I just wanted to point out again, you see, it was vinyl chloride.
Yeah.
So just apples to apples here. Never mind the many other massive chemical explosions and leaks and terrible things that happen in China, these industrial disasters, which always kill people.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing that the Chinese government sees fit to use these kind of, accidents, these industrial accidents, as political fodder.
Yeah.
And to try and divert attention away from their freaking spy balloon.
Yeah. They got caught.
Yeah. Stop. You guys, you got caught. Deal with it. Say sorry.
Yeah, say sorry. We won't do it again. Let's not derail our relationships anymore.
Whoops, we tried to spy on you and it didn't go too well.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Sorry.
It's like if a peeping Tom gets caught,
Yeah.
It's like give him a slap on the wrist and move on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. They're literally just pointing fingers.
Yeah.
Can I, I'll read this after we go. We'll keep moving on.
Yeah, sure. So, by the way, Zhang Heqing, which is the other guy that I shared the tweets of him going on, I just wanted to point something out here because it's kind of interesting. He is the counselor and director of, what is it?
The Cultural China Association of Beijing.
Yeah, the cultural, is it called?
It's the Ministry of Culture.
But it's in Pakistan or something.
Yeah, in Pakistan. But the Ministry of Culture was a CCP branch that was dissolved in 2018, and I suspect they did this for a reason because it still exists.
Yeah.
But it's now not under the arm of the government. So then these people don't need labels, like government labels, like Zhang Heqing, who follows me. I'm terrified. You can see that. Anyway, he's in Pakistan. And he's a wolf warrior, and I think they dissolved the Ministry of Culture so they can have the people diplomatically be in these other countries and then spread Chinese propaganda because that's all this account does. Yeah. That's all he does.
Correct.
But not have, this is from the Chinese government, right? Doesn't
I
need
just
that
wanted to
label.
point out the fact that, he has his website there, which is chinaculture.org. Okay.
Yeah. It's also unsecured, by the way. Like
Of course.
all the Chinese government
But here's the
websites.
thing, culture. I want you to pay attention to that because it's always Chinese language and cultural institutes
Yep.
that are set up around the
Yep.
world. And they're always set up by the Chinese government in partnership with universities and so on.
Yep.
And that's how they get their propaganda and their control over the Chinese students into the universities abroad.
Yep.
So just be very, very aware when you see a Chinese cultural and language institute,
Look into it.
it's most probably just a propaganda organ of the CCP,
Look
So,
into it at least.
Yeah, look into it. If it's set up by Taiwan or something, it's fine,
Yeah.
Anyway, just wanted to point that little thing out there. Now let's talk about this a little bit. What's this?
Downed Chinese balloon aimed for Hawaii was blown off course. So, what turns out, what the U.S. was able to surmise was that this balloon was headed towards Hawaii. What else? happened?
Guam and Hawaii.
Yeah. What happened in Hawaii?
Well, remember last week we spoke about the Chinese lidar satellite. Lidar. It's
interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, the lidar satellite was scanning Hawaii. And, after some more discussion, we're thinking it's probably looking for submarine activity because you can use the lidar to actually...
And the balloon would be for other surveillance, right? Surveillance. And
So-
if you think about it, the Hawaii theater, that area would be very important if there was a Taiwan invasion as well.
Well,
so.
Pearl Harbor happened for a reason. The Pearl Harbor attack happened, just
We're not going to get into too much military detail.
during World War
obviously.
II, but it happened for a reason because that's a U.S. stronghold in the region.
Yes.
So for China to have as much intel of what's happening in Hawaii
Yep.
and Guam, because it was also going to go over
Yep.
Guam, right, is very valuable for them in case
Yeah.
things kick off with Taiwan or whatever. Just saying.
Makes it worse, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, China's been going absolutely insane.
Yes.
Like you said about the Ohio thing, trying to derail the conversation, so to speak.
yeah. Derail the balloon conversation.
Derail the balloon conversation.
Yeah.
We can have an interesting little tweet here. This is Wang Wenbin, right?
Yeah, you read his tweet
Yeah.
first and I'll read the rebuttal.
This is a spokesman for China, right?
Yes.
We urge NATO to abandon the outdated Cold War mentality and block confrontation. Stop creating imaginary enemies and destabilizing Europe and the Asia Pacific, and to do something good for peace and stability in Europe and beyond.
Yeah, I just got to say, let me read the rebuttal here, okay, made by Julian Ku. Said, this would be a little less jarring if, the foreign spokesperson from China had at any time publicly urged Russia to abandon its mentality of invading its neighbors and do something good for the peace and stability of Europe.
I mean, the projection is real.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's ridiculous. China's very good at oh yeah, you're a bad guy. Meanwhile, they're being a bad guy at the same time.
Right at that moment.
It's like, oh yeah, you're stealing something while they're stealing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's insane.
Yeah, and pointing at innocent people. Or even if they're pointing at another criminal, they're doing it themselves.
Yes.
So just an absolute scramble they've been going on these days, just trying to save face and trying to make out as if they've done nothing wrong and everything is the USA's fault and other people's fault, NATO's fault and all this stuff.
Speaking of which,
中国
we
民用
have a
无人
little
飞
speech
机
from
误入
him.
美。
Oh, you want to go through
my
this?
Gosh, this is hard to watch because of how bad it is.
Okay, well, we're going to watch some of it.
Let's play it.
The whole thing?
It's not that long.
Okay.
国领空完全是一起由不可抗力导致的意外偶发事件。中方已多次向美方说明情况，然而美方滥用武力、过度反应、升级事态，违反国际法精神和国际惯例。现在又炒作渲染，变本加厉，以此为借口非法制裁中方企业和机构。中方对此强烈不满，坚决。
Okay, we better give a gist for those who are listening at home. But it's basically saying that, our civilian balloon flew off course and America's making a big deal out of it. And it's just an excuse for them to hype things up and illegally sanction Chinese companies. That's what they wanted to do all along, basically. And we reject this. This is against international law, blah, blah, blah.
It's weird. I'm glad you were able to translate that because I actually only heard sound of water glugging around.
Yeah, exactly. Water cooler diplomacy. Let's see what else does this guy have to say.
反对，中方将采取必要措施，坚决维护中国企业和机构的合法权益。
this whole thing about China will resolutely, what is it? What are his exact words?
You flew a spy balloon over America and now you're angry.
We'll take necessary measures to resolutely safeguard
坚决维护中国企业和机
the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese enterprises and institutions. You mean the government?
China flew a spy balloon over America, said it didn't happen.
First of all, said, no, it's not from
theirs.
China.
Yeah, it's not theirs. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's ours, but it's a weather balloon. Okay, well, it's a civilian balloon.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've taken care of it. We're gonna shoot it down now, and now that it's gone over our
when they shoot it down, that's ours. Give it back. That belongs to us.
And then they're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what? And then they go, don't. By the way, now that you found out that it was a spy balloon and you've sanctioned the companies involved in the spying, don't do that because now we're gonna have to pay you back.
Yeah, and they did sanction Raytheon?
Raytheon. They sanctioned like military,
or something.
Military companies. Oh no! How will they survive?
They don't want to sell shit to you anyway.
Don't work with China.
Yeah,
it's the adversary. Right? I just want to read this again for everyone. Just so
okay. Well, is this a narcissist prayer?
Everyone to put your hands together.
Okay, go for it.
In a non-religious prayer.
Okay.
This is called the narcissist prayer, and tell me if this is quite literally not a play-by-play of what just happened with China.
Sure.
That didn't happen, and if it did, it wasn't that bad, and if it was, well, that's not a big deal, and if it is, that's not my fault, and if it was, I didn't mean it, and if I did, you deserved it.
That's exactly right. Yeah. That's what these guys are on about. Anyway, I'll get through the rest of this boring ass shit. Now, apparently, China says that U.S. balloons trespassed over 10 times since early January 2022.
I guess I've never learned about prevailing winds. It's interesting.
Yeah, look, I mean, you can look into the science, but the way that the wind, the jet streams and everything work, you're not flying a balloon from America up to China.
No. And if they were talking about perhaps coming from the base in Afghanistan, well, that was dismantled and abandoned. Mm-hmm. So I don't know about that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so it's a bunch of bullshit.
It's so it's not even funny.
And the problem is that they make these claims with absolutely no proof. Meanwhile, America's got proof.
There's pictures.
They have the balloon.
They have the balloon. People saw it in their yard.
Yeah.
Nobody in China saw these balloons.
Nope.
There's no photographic evidence. There's not even write-ups about what was found on them, or how they operated, or where they were.
It's just
right.
It's just no you.
No you. Yeah. It's quite literally. It's literally projection.
It's like you stink. No, you stink.
Yeah.
That kind of shit. Yeah.
It's
projection.
I'm gonna give it a couple times.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, again, John Ho-Ching coming along. Now, guys, we're going on about this balloon, but we've got one more point to make here.
We got a few more.
Yeah, well, he says, a wandering civilian balloon is enough to make a superpower so paranoid to the point of abusing its military might. What on earth do you, America, usually do with a balloon?
Say what?
Use them at birthday parties? I don't know.
What?
Anyway, now, this Fergus Ryan is, out of Australia, is a fantastic guy. Said, China's foreign ministry really doesn't want to name which civilian company owns the spy balloon. And this is a good point.
Yeah.
They keep going on about it being a civilian balloon. First of all, if it was a civilian balloon, why would they be so upset? Why would they be demanding it back?
Well, let me just say something real quick. In my video expose that I did about this very thing, they were working on civil military fusion war balloons.
Yes.
So they've already documented that and bragged about it on Chinese media.
Yeah.
That argument goes out the window immediately.
Yeah, we discussed the whole civil military fusion that China has, a couple of episodes back, and it's absolutely true. All this technology that has any kind of military application immediately falls under the jurisdiction of the military in China anyway. It's not like you can't have a private company. No. That's why, guys, by the way, TikTok, it's a real threat.
Yes.
Okay? Anything that can be used as an influence operation or as a military technology immediately is part of the military in China. Okay, so you see, here's a couple of questions from reporters, like AFP asked. I have another question regarding China's balloon shot down by the US 10 days ago. The foreign ministry said it was for civilian use. Can you tell us which entity it belongs to?
And then here he goes.
Here's Wang Wenbin. Yeah, gloop, gloop. says, we've stated repeatedly our position on the unmanned airships' unintended entry into U.S. airspace, but let me share with you some facts. Over the years, the U.S. has been engaging in massive, non-discriminate wiretapping and secret theft of blah, 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 blah. Doesn't say the name of the company.
Didn't answer the question.
Didn't answer. Okay, so Reuters asked, and this is a different session. Reuters asks, does last week's balloon belong to a Chinese company? I'm talking about the one that was shut down initially. That then fell all over the sea close to the USA. Wang Wenbin, okay, comes with his water cooler crap again, says, we have made it clear several times that the unintended entry of China's civilian unmanned airship into the US airspace is an entirely unexpected isolated event caused by force majeure. The US downing of the airship is an abuse of the use of force, an overreaction. We firmly oppose to it. Again, they cannot say the name of the company because it doesn't exist.
Because it's not a civilian balloon.
Yes.
It's a spy balloon from the Chinese government.
It belongs to the Chinese government.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And even if they were to name the so-called company that constructed it, it would be a Chinese military company.
Yes.
Or one that's involved in civil military fusion.
Yes.
Of which they all are. So they can't name it. So this whole idea of it being a civil balloon's a bunch of bullshit anyway. We know that.
Yes.
Everybody knows that. Oh, and this. Okay, we got to move on. So
I mean, there's sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. And Winston and I are often never surprised really by Chinese propaganda. It's what we do for a living. We'll watch it. We make sure we know how to explain it to everyone out there, and we use our decade plus experience in China to give us a lens to look at things through, right? But there is very rarely a time where a clip will come up or someone will send something to us and we are just shocked at the sheer audacity and idiocy and insanity and hypocrisy of how low the Chinese government can go.
Yeah.
To the point where they are now employing fabric shields to hide what people are protesting about.
To hide protesters.
Whether it be a blank piece of paper.
Yeah, they're actually using a blank A4 protester as an example here.
And to make sure that nobody can see the protesters and to make sure that nobody can see what they're protesting about on their placards or billboards.
Yeah.
I kid you not. This is a drill on how to physically censor and physically shield a person and then arrest them.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Because, I mean, this is a police drill. Okay, I'll get us out of here. And they have these screens, for lack of a better word. Fabric screens.
Guys like protesting. We want freedom. Down with the CCP.
Yeah. Quick, cover them up. Yeah, cover them out. Don't let anyone see.
It's insane.
It's so dumb. They're like, quickly, cover them up more. And this is you may have more, like quite a few. Don't let anyone see the protest.
Don't look at what's going on behind here. You might see a blank piece of paper.
Yeah.
Abracadabra. Da-da-da-da.
And there he is.
He's arrested. It's almost like a freaking like a dance troupe or something.
Yeah, it's like a magic show. Like a disappearing act.
Surprise, you're arrested.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here's the thing. So I posted that on Twitter yesterday, and it went around the internet a lot yesterday, actually.
Yeah, I put it on Instagram. People were going wild about it.
And I had a lot of the Wu Mao and the 50 Cent Army saying, oh, yeah, that's just a police training exercise.
So what?
Yeah.
What are you training for?
An exercise for what, exactly, right?
To hide a person with a paper.
To appease those people who think it was just an exercise, here's it actually being employed in a real situation.
Yeah,
okay?
It was funny because they came to defend it, saying it's just a drill. It might not be used, and they immediately started using it.
Look at this. Yeah, you can actually see a protest is being blocked.
Protest in Nanjing.
Yeah, and then look, there we go. Carry.
After they got her, so they basically they covered her up with a sheet.
Yeah.
The screen, right? And then they grabbed her and took her away. See how many police vans they have to cart protesters away?
How many policemen are there? And look, they're just blocking off the entire protest so people can't see and join in or, actually...
These are current protests.
Yeah. That's the thing. They don't want the protest to spread, so they hide it. How many policemen do they need for, that little protest? It's
People are so deluded into... That's why I did that video, what happened after the protest, thinking that these protests are successful and people get their demands.
Nope.
They are literally so paranoid about them, they're covering up with sheets.
Yeah.
Like sheets.
It's like, nothing to see here.
It's great. Play the original drill, like just so people can remember. Cement this in your mind when you ever question, is China a real place?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's all about censorship. The government will literally put a sheet up to hide something they don't want you to see. It's ridiculous. They're so proud of this as well.
I mean, it's so bad. It's so shameful.
It's bloody lame is what it is.
It's the lamest, most embarrassing, like, wimpy bullshit thing.
Yeah.
A strong country doesn't need to put sheets up over its protesters. A strong country will listen to the demands of the protesters and try to make concessions and reform. That's what a strong country does.
At least bring out a water cannon.
Yeah.
You know?
Do something.
Yeah.
Right? Hide them so you can disappear them, and then don't let people see what their placard says.
Yeah.
That's more important to me. Yeah. It's insane. It's like a freaking cheer squad, but
yeah, it's
like
dumb.
covering it up.
Speaking of protests, we haven't covered this, but let me fast forward through this. You guys have seen the use of those screens, those censorship screens now in real life. So it's not just some fantasy. It actually, they do employ them. Okay, you saw it here. Okay, if you want to go check on my Twitter, I normally share these things out, and I try to always include the original links where I get them from, so you guys can go find out who, where the sources are, so you can go follow them too. But this is something that our subscribers sent to us.
Yeah,
this footage.
Our people on the ground.
So this is in Dalian, right?
Yep.
Okay, so maybe you don't know this, but there are huge protests going around China right now.
Massive.
And it's all got to do with pension healthcare stuff.
Yeah.
So, you work and you put your money into your healthcare, and it's supposed to pay you out a certain amount every month, okay? And the government just seems to have decided to slash that amount drastically.
Yep.
Not by half, by like 2/3 or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
a huge cut.
Whatever the case is, old people, middle-aged and old people that were relying on this are now pissed off.
Local governments are going bankrupt.
Yeah.
And they can't pay the old people.
Yeah, so it's happening all around the country. It's not just in one city this time, okay? We've seen it in Wuhan.
Huge ones in Wuhan, in Nanjing right now, and massive one just started blowing up in Dalian. So some people went into the protests for us to take
Yeah. So, this is just a lot of, like I said, these old people that are gathering together and they're chanting and they're demanding that their health care basically gets given back, their money that they're owed.
That's right. And it's spreading like crazy because it's not isolated.
Yeah.
A bunch of these cities are defaulting on these pensions.
Yeah.
So the protests are just every day snowballing.
Yeah, it's happening. It's been going on now for about 2 or 3 weeks as well.
That is why you're seeing those drills to hide the protests, the magic trick.
You're gonna need a lot of cloth to cover this one.
There's gonna be massive fan art videos about what's behind the curtains, like a magic trick for sure.
Yeah.
Such a Soviet-ass building.
All the Chinese government buildings look awful.
Yeah. Anyway, just some footage from people on the ground there. But yeah, anyway, the protests are spiraling out of control again, and we'll see where this leads because the last one led to questioning of the central government.
Yeah.
And sometimes we originally thought that wasn't possible, but it got so much momentum in Shanghai that actually happened.
Yeah, because this is not isolated.
No.
Word is spreading somewhat when it comes to these things.
Yes,
this is our next thing that we're going to talk about. Listen, guys, before we continue, we would love to give you another word from another one of our sponsors, so please stand by.
You know what I hate is when I go on Amazon and I search for something and all I get is garbage that pops up. For years now, we've excused everything we don't like about Amazon in exchange for their promise of speed and low prices. But did you know that over 60% of products on Amazon are sold by third-party sellers, and 50% of those sellers are actually based in China? So think about this. When you go look for a product, the majority of stuff that you're going to find is cheap Chinese products that are oftentimes knockoffs of the real thing. So think about this. You could technically be getting a product cheaper and the real version of it locally. And that's where Cultivate comes into play. Cultivate is an absolutely free and awesome plugin that you can add to your browser, and you can actually find out where stuff is being made and then how to get local versions of those things so you can support your local economy. So for example, look at this electric leaf blower on Amazon where the brand and seller are both from China. Why would you overpay when you can get a DeWalt leaf blower delivered for free from a local Ace Hardware store for $10 cheaper than that? Or how about this one? This same hairdryer on Amazon is $170 cheaper at Ulta and Best Buy, where you can get it delivered for free or pick up the same day near you. So much for Amazon's low prices and fast delivery. All this is available to you for free when you download the Cultivate browser extension. With every purchase that you make from a Cultivate partner, you'll earn a percentage of what you spend back to donate to a charity of your choice for free. Go to wecultivate.us/laowhy and download Cultivate for free, and you can start making more informed shopping decisions and do more for your community while you shop.
So, yeah.
I know you guys all were clamoring because you guys either want the Harry Potter Sonic backpack or the anus backpack.
Yeah.
If you missed that, those are some great finds we found. But anyway, Cultivate is free, so definitely use it. Everyone that we've talked to absolutely loves it, and we use it all the time to find.
It's good to know where the seller's coming from.
It's not only that; it's like for local pickups, so you can get stuff same day too, right? Which is really good. So Cultivate, wecultivate.us/laowhy.
Yeah, we're using the Laowhy promotional code because we haven't had one set up for the China show just
I'll
yet.
go to the same place.
But exactly. Can highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, it's time for us to get into Wumao Corner. We got some fantastic stuff for you, It's nonstop, all day, every day.
Yes.
I should say all day, every Friday.
Yes.
Here on the China Show. So what do we have for you this time? University of Sydney, Australia. We have to talk about Australia again, guys.
Yeah, your favorite topic.
This guy's Sydney Winnie is called. Goes around. He is also a University of Sydney student. He's a student, right? And he gets permission and he has peaceful protests. He puts up some placards and he puts up some things against the CCP.
That's what you do, right?
He's got a lot of courage. So now for the past 3 days... Chinese guy, yeah. For the past 3 days, he's been putting these protest things up around the Sydney, University of Sydney. And
This is not Drew, by the way.
No, it's not Drew.
Chinese guy.
Yeah, Chinese guy. And every day that he's done this, he's had people come and attack him and destroy signs and stuff. So we wanted to spread a bit of a spotlight on this, okay, so you could see what's been going on here. This is his little thing. He's gotten permission. It's just off campus. He's gotten permission to set his little thing up over here, okay?
Yeah.
And he's basically got his little stand there and he's like, hey, this is the Sydney University anti-theft, whatever. He's like basically making fun of the CCP and he's like, scan this QR code or join us here type thing. Okay?
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Love to
and
see
he dresses up as Winnie the Pooh.
It's great. Gets eyes on it.
He's got a little TV over there. Yeah. So that's what he has. And this is kind of what's been happening to him over the past 3 days. Let's see when it gets there.
Touch my property.
This is my country.
This is my property.
You're fucking India.
This is my property.
Insult is my country, and you are racist.
I'm not racist. I'm also
just
Chinese.
racist.
How can Chinese be a racist?
Yeah, you don't want to be Chinese, right?
I'm
You're just
Chinese.
racist. Yeah,
I'm always Chinese.
I'm going to feed you. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's you.
What do you think? You are racist.
I'm racist?
Yeah, you are racist too. Those people who have a different opinion with you.
Yeah, racist. You're fucking racist. Yeah, you're fucking racist. Yeah.
You will be famous, I promise.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
So glad about that, man.
Thank you. But you will be the famous man.
Follow me.
Can I just point something out here? We got a Chinese guy sets up a stall that's like anti-CCP, right?
Yeah, because he cares about his country.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you've got a Chinese student, studying in Sydney. By the way, he's just arrived, that guy. You'll find out in a minute. Comes and tears his shit down, okay? Breaks his personal property, That's you can't do that kind of thing. No. And then when he's confronted, he calls the Chinese guy racist. What's going on?
Do you see how that propaganda works, though? Mm-hmm. China is currently in round 2, and I'm warning everyone out there to keep your eyes on this, round 2 of its new reinvigorated campaign to conflate criticism of the Chinese government with racism, and they quite literally are jamming this down everyone's throats, including organizations here in the US.
Yes.
That they're actually getting people to spread this messaging, which needs to be stopped immediately. Yeah. If you find anyone doing this, try to document that.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Because, you know, criticizing the Chinese government is not racist. The Chinese government is not a race.
This is a
Neither is the
massive
Chinese
psyop.
country.
It's bad.
You know what I mean? A nationality is not a race.
No.
And, you know, there's an easy way to defeat this argument. I absolutely approve of and love the Taiwanese government.
Yes.
Okay? Love Taiwan. Love Taiwanese society.
Beautiful democracy.
Yeah, amazing.
Free country.
It's the exact same race of people. Okay? So if you say, I love the Taiwanese government, but I don't like the CCP, and someone calls you racist, what the hell are they talking about? It's the same race. You know? Same race of people inhabit both countries.
Or like us, I love China. It's probably my favorite place in the world. It's where my heart is. But I dislike the Chinese government. I'm racist.
Yeah.
How does that even make sense?
Well, it just shows you none of it makes sense. If a Chinese ultra-nationalist here is going to call another Chinese person racist.
Yep. It's lost. They're lost. They're lost in the sauce.
The word racist now means person I don't like, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. Anyway. Let's not cheapen it, though. They do have malicious purpose for it.
Yeah. So this is kind of important. So the guy, he follows this other guy around because he's obviously just torn down his stuff and he wants to get the police involved, right?
You saw in my country.
Yeah.
But I don't have right to follow that person because the police told me I
It's
can.
stalking or harassing. Sir, and another question is when I follow me, other Chinese has also removed the poster because this word is all about anti-China. So you can see that.
Not anti-China, anti-CCP.
Yeah, okay. So he runs to the security or whatever on the campus, okay? Yeah. And I've got to remind you guys, both of them are students, by the way. The guy put up the post is also a student.
Chinese students.
Yeah, both Chinese students. And the guy goes and tells him that the guy put up anti-China stuff. It's not anti-China. People have to understand it's anti-CCP.
Yeah.
It's not saying like, oh man, Chinese clothes suck or something.
Yeah.
Or, it's nothing about that. No. It's about, hey, the government, Xi Jinping sucks, you know. So let's see which side the university takes here.
Gentlemen, I think we need
Yeah, you don't care, I know.
No, it's not that I don't care. I can appreciate that there's some frustration here, but I'm going to suggest that this gentleman moves on, and I'm going to.
I will follow him.
Follow him. You should follow him.
You may call the police. I will follow him.
No, I'm going to ask. You insisted to follow him, please.
You can call the police. If police call me, I can't. I will not.
You just said. Can leave, sir. No. Can leave now, sir. Okay. Would you like to leave off campus? Okay, leave off campus. But he's still following. He's not going to follow you otherwise. Okay, well, let him go. 1 second, sorry. Are you a student here? Yeah. Are you a student here?
Yes.
You're both students?
Yeah.
I've got his ID. He doesn't have ID because first day, but I've got his passport.
It's his first day and he's causing shit.
He can't handle it.
No.
He comes from China where he's been told every single day that China will rule the world. Everywhere you go is your new territory because China is so powerful. Your passport is the most powerful thing in the world. Mm-hmm. And anyone abroad that says something bad about the Chinese government will be punished. Yeah. And you will be rewarded if you punish those people. That's what's being taught in China right now.
There's something else to this as well. It's the fact that this guy has never, ever seen any criticism of the Chinese government because it's not allowed.
Yeah. It's shocking.
I mean, it's think about it if you're in a very like super hyper religious family.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've never been out of your little religious family bubble and you go to church and, the other people like no blaspheming allowed.
Yeah.
And then you go out into the real world and somebody's like, oh man, Jesus this or that. And you'd be so shocked. You're like, how dare you take the Lord's name in vain?
Yep.
You might attack them, right? You might have a knee-jerk reaction, and this is what's happening with a lot of these students that come over. Mm-hmm. They've never seen this before, and they can't handle that. They're like, how dare you criticize the government,
Yeah.
So anyway, we're playing this out because there's something very important that gets said here. Let's see what happens next.
Aaron.
Aaron, please understand that I can appreciate that you might be frustrated with what he might have done. I don't know exactly what's happened. But you do not have the right to follow him. You do not have the right to stalk, intimidate,
Only
harass
the
him.
court can tell me that I don't have right to.
No, the police can tell you.
No, sorry. I don't want to talk.
Look, I'll ask you. these two guys, he put poster off campus against China. This guy.
See what the guy said there? The security guard, council, whatever the hell it is.
That's what ticked me off the most.
He's like, this guy here, he put posters out there against China.
No, he did not. And if you can't understand the difference between what just happened here, then don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
Go bring it to someone else that maybe understands it a little bit better. Don't try to be you're not a cop. Don't try to act like one. Right?
The fact of the matter is people have to understand that criticizing the Chinese government is not criticizing
That's what
China.
I'm saying. If you don't understand the difference there, you don't talk then.
Yeah.
Just don't talk.
The guy's literally got memes about Winnie the Pooh and Xi Jinping. He's not making something that's against China. He's making something that's against the Chinese government. You know?
No.
It's horrible that the faculty, I should say, over there at the university has that standpoint.
Yeah.
That if you criticize the Chinese government, you're against China.
That's broken.
Yeah.
That is against free speech.
Absolutely. So, I mean,
remove the poster because he's Chinese.
Then you've got like, I don't know what you call it, the other guy, this Chad enforcer
Because
wannabe
I call
guy.
the police, I don't want him run away.
If you follow me more than half hour, it's like 40 minutes.
You don't need to follow him anymore, alright? Please, have you got his details?
Yes, I've got
Alright,
his details.
Leave him
yes.
alone now, okay? They can take his contact.
Okay, if the police ask, you will give the detail for him.
The police will contact campus security and take the matter further. That's all you need to know.
Okay, could you give me a contact number that
The University of Sydney 9351487.
just the
Okay, please leave. So my friend, come here.
Yeah, he's like, that's all you need to know. They'll contact you. It's very one-sided. Anyway, that was the first day of him putting up his
I will
posters.
stay there for my property. I will stay there for my
Yeah, no
property.
worries, my friend. Thank you.
This guy's so calm. Protect this man at all costs.
Yeah.
We love him.
Same day, another guy came and tore his posters down.
Yeah.
And,
It's relentless.
yeah, they can't handle it.
It's like those sheet cops.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you.
Does he have squeaky shoes or is it? I'm just like, yeah, what is
You
it?
know what? Even if he doesn't, he does not.
Yeah.
Squeaky shoes says mommy
Yeah.
can find it.
Yeah. That's like, do you get those over here?
What?
Those-
No.
Dude, they're so frustrating.
Dude, yeah, in China they have these squeaky shoes so you can hear your kids running
Yeah,
off.
for like the little toddlers, and it's like so bad. Anyway, so this was the guy from the first day that tore the stuff down. Now then the next day, this is what happened.
It's a bird chirping, more culture shock.
So the next day, another group of these guys came to tear his stuff down. And they got
Clown shoes.
You cannot leave. You are
Get clown shoes on.
yeah.
Yes, of course.
This guy can't catch a
me,
break.
okay?
No.
Touch my friend! Fuck you!
What are you fucking doing? No. You are still, you are attacking me, okay?
So yeah, now he got like physically assaulted by these guys because they tore his stuff down. And he was like following them, like, "Hey, I want to put a citizen's arrest on, for destroying my stuff."
Well, yeah, I mean, they ripped his stuff down, right?
Yeah, and so they all kind of ganged up on him and pushed him and jostled him around. Apparently, he got hit hard by not these guys. It was today. It was today he got hit so hard on his Apple Watch that his Apple Watch sent a notification he'd been in a car accident to a friend.
to his friend.
Yeah,
His emergency contact.
yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyway,
What is he doing now? I
it's-
absolutely love this.
Yeah.
This is why we put this in Wilmot
Yeah.
Corner. This is
Yeah.
the opposite of Wilmot.
so now he has the TV playing this guy.
TV's reset up.
Property.
Reset up of the altercations. Exposing the guys.
So now,
who did
yeah,
it.
at his protest site, it's ridiculous. It's so funny.
My property.
It shows you that,
My
like,
property.
dude, trust me on this. If you want to pick a side here,
Yeah.
if you want girls or you want to be on the right side, you want to be cool, you want to
Yeah.
be smoking a cigar, you want chicks,
Yeah.
be on the side of democracy. Trust me.
Yeah.
They have way more sense of humor
Yeah.
and are more reasonable and calm.
Yeah.
Right? Don't be a douche clown shoe boy.
Yeah, I like what he said here. Why the University of Sydney did nothing to those racist students who do not respect freedom of speech.
I love this guy. I love what he does. Going out there and just taking the piss.
Yeah.
Putting it up there and be like, this is what happened. They're not going to do anything about it, so I'll put them on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
But not on TV on the news. On a TV.
On my own TV. Yeah.
He sets up a freaking TV.
Yeah, he does.
I love this guy.
Yeah, it's
Have him
freaking
on the
hilarious.
show.
Yeah, so that's what's been going. It's still ongoing, by the way.
He broke the fifth wall.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
I love this guy.
Yeah, it's so funny. So today, a group of students came there and started like swearing at him and trying to cause trouble. Now they're trying to bait him into attacking them. You know,
Yeah.
that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
So he suspects. I've been following him on Twitter, and he suspects that they're organized through the Chinese consulate.
Let's buy him a projector. Real projection.
Yes.
I would absolutely. We'll buy him a projector.
Projection.
If he's interested, reach out.
Yeah.
I will buy him. I will physically buy him a projector and send it to him, and then he can project it on something.
Yeah.
Happy to do it.
Very happy.
Put it on the embassy.
Yeah.
On the wall of the embassy.
Yeah.
Play the videos of the people that attacked him.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. But quite honestly, though, I'd like to say something about this. Why is this tolerated?
What is his Twitter, by the way? People want to know.
I'll tell you now. Let me bring it up. It is. Yeah, we'll put it in the thingy here. Let's see if.
Read it to me.
Yeah, I gotta look through my junk here. You know, when you're on Twitter a lot, things start to.
I'll buy
blend.
him whatever he wants. Yeah, dude. Like, let's show him some support.
Yeah.
Assuming he's a good person.
Yeah.
I just know him for his actions here.
Okay. His Twitter is at.
Yeah.
I am Aaron, so Aaron Chang, Chang.
Okay. I'm Aaron Chang.
Yeah, and it's called Sydney Winnie.
Okay, I'm gonna put him in. I put him in the chat, but I'm also gonna put him in the description.
Yeah, definitely go follow him if you want to keep up with this drama, this like daily soap. You know, but quite seriously though, like the university are taking the side of the destructive. Ultranationalists, and it's very plain to see.
Yes.
You know, I'm pretty sure anywhere else in the world, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but if students go up and like physically assault other students and tear down their protest posters and stuff while they're there and they're filmed, they're on camera.
Yeah.
They should get a disciplinary hearing. You know, the cops could get involved.
Sydney Winnie. I see. Yeah, Drew Pavley tweeted him out too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Sydney Winnie. He says, "I'm an independent protester."
That's what he does.
Go give him a follow.
Yeah, seriously. Go show him some support. Tell him the China Show sent you, you know?
Yes, yeah.
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 Anyway,
big energy.
Yeah, big energy. We need more people like that.
Yes.
Because it just shows you that just bubbling beneath the surface, there's a huge Chinese nationalist sentiment that's ready there to like just explode.
For sure.
And it's kind of ridiculous. You know, I can liken it to... Just imagine during the 70s and 80s, if you put up a Free Mandela poster at your university and then there was some like Afrikaans nationalist students at that university came and started to beat people up and tear down the posters.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
People
are in the chat are like super keen on buying him tools for his protest.
Yeah.
Any nonviolent tools, absolutely. Projectors, other TVs.
Maybe like a very rugged TV that could be like smashed and it won't break. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, it's fantastic. Just let's show the guy some support.
And brainstorm ideas of things we could fund him for.
Yeah. We wanted to remind you guys that we have an exclusive VIP show every Monday. Mm-hmm. It's always a hell of a lot of fun, so we thought we'd show you guys what you may have missed out on if you weren't there. Yeah, some close calls and some close shaves.
It represents everyday life in China. Man, he dodged that. Whoa, and he landed the feet first.
Of course, that's not the truck's fault.
Oh, and a whoa.
And that is so close.
Oh, man.
So close.
Double near miss.
That's a lucky son of a bitch. So what's going on in the shop over here? Oh, okay. Never mind.
Oh.
Yeah, that is so close.
China can be the most dangerous and boring place in the same day. That's going to haunt my dreams.
Yeah, so anyway, guys, seriously, if you want to join us for that, please head over to patreon.com/ADV podcast. Join the Shaban Ho tier. If you have the means, of course, we'd love to see you there. It's so much fun. It's our favorite time of the week. And we show you things that we just can't show you on the China show because they're just...
it's a totally different show.
Yeah.
It's a separate, full-on, full-length show where we talk to you guys live and at the same time cover a topic that we wouldn't be able to cover on this show because of YouTube and rules and all that kind of good stuff. So definitely, if you want it, it's definitely the best way to support us too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to go join, you can watch all the previous episodes. And I think we're up to 33 episodes already.
Yeah. And you'll get access to all of them. So one more time, where can you find it?
You can find it at patreon.com/ADV podcast. Also, if you join any tier of the of Patreon, you'll get access to the Discord server and be a part of the team. So we hope to see you there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we are. Good stuff. So you're ready to move on to our next segment, which is Worldview.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm game.
Worldview, where we talk about everything in the world, specifically with regards to China. And this time around, we're going to start out with this. Looks pretty sinister. What is this? Is it Chinese Matrix?
This is wild. So there is a new TV show.
Okay.
In China. And oftentimes TV shows will either be period drama, so it's like ancient Chinese history floating around with
Yeah. I don't have my...
Yeah.
You always hear that cloth and they...
And you get, period dramas like that. You also get anti-Japanese war dramas. But you
course.
also get normal dramas, like that new one that came out that I had a mild critique of the other day, right? Now, Chinese
More
TV
like a meltdown.
I had a lot of words.
Yeah, you had a meltdown.
Because no one's going into it in depth. And I have a lot of criticism of that.
Well, you know what? But what are you talking about? What's the name of that show?
I can't remember now.
Let's not advertise it if you don't like it.
Yeah.
So there's a Chinese drama that's being very well received internationally.
In the West,
yeah. Lots of people watching it and like, wow, China's so interesting. But you know what? You can equate that drama with what we showed earlier with the fake photos of the oxen and the, because they set this idyllic picture of what China could be, but it's a fantasy.
And it's
a fairy tale.
full of propaganda. That's my problem with it. And it's full of hollow acting. Yeah. Anyway, more importantly is this show that is now taking off and is quite well received in China. And it's China's attempt at a crime drama.
Well, like a Law and Order.
Kind of, yeah. You know how those are mad
CSI,
popular in America?
Yeah.
And in Korea as well, you get some
it's
of
like
those.
Ice-T or whatever.
You're basically friends with Ice-T, right?
Pretty much.
That's like a deep cut. Maybe in Shaban Ho we'll talk about.
No, we gel. We got the same vibe, dude. We got the vibe,
He has a relationship with
I share his
Ice-T.
ice cold facts. You know what I'm saying?
You've talked to him, right?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah, nice.
I keep reminding him that he was in Tank Girl, and that like Rappin' Hood beat him in like what was that one?
We
Electric
watched
Boogaloo 3 or whatever.
Rappin' 3.
Yeah.
Or was it what is it called? Electric Beagle or something?
Yeah, whatever. It was Rappin' 3.
Yeah, but Rappin' 3. But what was the original? Breakin'.
Breakin' 3.
Rappin'.
Yes.
Electric Beagle or
Just
something.
some shit. Anyway, and when Rappin' Hood beat him in a rap contest, I keep telling him that. He doesn't respond to that though.
But you've talked to him on other topics, but he always ignores that topic.
Yeah, that one he will.
He doesn't want to remember that.
No.
Well, props to Ice-T.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Anyway, he's in CSI something or other.
Anyway,
he
that
keeps bragging about
has literally nothing to do with what I'm trying to talk about here.
Sure.
This is a bit of pop culture for you from China that has a very sinister twist.
Yeah.
Their big crime drama right now, which keep in mind, there's not a whole lot of crime dramas in China because that means you would expose the underbelly of Chinese society, right?
Yeah.
Chinese government doesn't like that. This crime drama, I kid you not, is on the premise of Xi Jinping's anti-corruption campaign.
Right.
And it's literally about going to find people that have been corrupt and how the central government supersedes over everything. So it's this bizarre facade where a lot of Chinese people are like, finally, a show is actually talking a little bit about the crime in China, like a little bit about the darker side.
Yeah.
But what it actually is yes, but those are local problems. And the Chinese government at the top, their anti-corruption police and Beijing and Xi Jinping, they're never wrong. The message of the show is that the CCP is infallible.
Correct.
And actually above all criticism.
Yeah.
And it's cementing that.
Yeah.
So that if there's any problems like protesters or local corruption or anything like this, and we watched an episode today.
Yeah. Man, that was painful.
I'll
never watch another one.
That it is not the fault of the Chinese government.
Yeah.
And now there's this facade of being able to admit that China does have some problems, but it's never the problem of the central government.
No, it's always a local issue.
In fact, the central government will come to your rescue and take care of those local corrupt officials and make sure that they never, do that again.
Yeah.
Right? Throw them in jail. And it is such it's like a dystopian opposite of reality.
Yeah.
The corruption is there because of the central government. The most corrupt people in China are in the central government.
Correct.
It's why it operates like it does.
Sure.
In fact, China's anti-corruption campaign was literally for PR and to solidify Xi Jinping's rule. And it has, in fact, made it a more distilled, corrupt country.
Yes.
I think any expert would agree, China is a much more corrupt country. Not on these local fringe levels, from the top.
Sure.
All power got distilled to Xi Jinping, and they now have pop show dramas about why Xi Jinping is so good.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's really, really crazy. Yeah, I remember watching a crime, like an attempted crime drama once many years ago in China, and I was sitting.
They exist, but there's not.
Yeah, but it was bad. So I was sitting there with my buddy, and we were having a foot massage. There's like foot massage. You go there, and that was when I first got to China because it's so cheap. They're all over the place. You can go in. The ones where you look out onto the streets. I'm not talking about dodgy ones. You go sit there, and they give you a foot massage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have a foot massage like 35 RMB for like 40 minutes or something.
I could never do it. I just don't like the feeling.
You don't like foot massages?
I absolutely hate it. Horrible feeling.
Weirdo.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
I hate it. I never did it.
Actually, really?
I tried. My wife tried to take me to one, and I couldn't do it.
We did one for that show. We remember on
ADVChina. That's true. I could barely handle it. You saw me. I was losing my mind.
Anyway, we were having a foot massage, and they have TV up there. And
yes.
we were watching. Because that's where we'd go drink as well. Because you just order beers and you could sit there and drink.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
And they had this ridiculous. And I remember we really pissed someone off because we were studying Chinese at the time, me and my buddy. So we were like narrating what was going on, and this guy was driving a real shit, those like little VW Jetta type things they've got there.
Those boxy ones.
Yeah, and he like turned and it like overturned and it was like skidding around. We were narrating it. Oh, 我不知道怎么开车，我第一次开车，哦，这个档这个用的, that kind of thing. We were just taking the piss out of it. And this like big Dongbei kind of guy nearby, he got up and he like swore at us and he's like, shut the fuck up, basically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with what we were saying.
Because he loved the show.
Yeah.
Clearly loved the show.
Obviously he was really into the drama and here we are taking the piss, yeah.
You know what I found is all my Cantonese friends, none of them watch Chinese TV, which is wild. Yeah. They barely watch Chinese TV.
Yeah.
They would watch Western stuff or Taiwanese stuff or Hong Kong stuff.
Yeah.
But my northern friends were well into it. And that's when I started watching Chinese TV is because when we hung out, we would watch TV sometimes.
Yeah.
And I started to get into some of those shows. They're bad, but I would watch them because we're all hanging out together and drinking and stuff.
So badly shot.
Yeah, my northern friends are the ones that would watch this stuff.
Yeah.
My southern friends were like, no, this is terrible.
Yeah, they're badly shot. The saturation's turned up to 11. You know what I mean? Like if from a videographer's point of view, if you watch some of the local Chinese TV, you'll want to vomit. Anyway. This is really funny.
Hilarious. These British guys. I'll just play their clip.
Okay.
It's a good
On the 28th of January this year, the Chinese government sent a high-altitude spy balloon over the United States, which caused some problems.
If China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country.
And so on Saturday, some American fighter jets shot it down, which gave Archie and I an idea.
Go, spy balloon!
If China can use a high-altitude balloon to spy on the West, why can't the West use a high-altitude balloon to spy on China?
So the Chinese embassy is legally considered to be China.
But we'd still need a giant high-altitude balloon, a lot of helium, and a spy camera.
We're going to fly a very small weather balloon over the Chinese embassy.
The answer is potentially issues, yes.
Archie decided the lawyer was expensive and boring, so ignored him and bought some massive weather balloons off eBay anyway. Then headed to a shop to buy the helium we'd need.
This is a normal balloon. What we've got is not a normal balloon.
We bought some ropes and did a trial run with our backup balloon.
An Archie spy balloon.
I gotta say, there's potentially a lot of issues with what they're doing.
To go to China.
It is what it is.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Hey, don't discourage them.
The moment had come to spy on the embassy of the People's Republic of China.
Yeah, this is pretty dangerous.
This is one of the United Kingdom's most secure buildings.
Up. It's going to start going towards the building. What do you do? Bear in mind, there's lots of slack. I've never felt more like a criminal in my life.
I love these guys, their attitude.
It's gonna float, don't you worry about that.
Love
We're here
the
outside the
GoPro.
Chinese embassy.
Yeah.
It's time for the real Josh and Archie spy balloon to be released.
Up it goes, up it goes. Oh, this is a mess.
listen,
We're in a tree,
Bennett,
we're in a
come
tree.
back.
Okay, now we just need the wind to take it, Josh. Or height. Okay, let's walk it round now, walk it round.
Our balloon had scaled the embassy and was in Chinese airspace. Our spy cam was staring into the windows of China. We even spotted a man on the roof.
The police are here.
The police
Okay,
are
bring
coming
it down.
now. Okay.
Bring it down.
Nice and slowly, just get those nice shots there, please. Nice and slowly.
People inside may be offended by it.
Yep.
Inflate it and take it away.
That's fine. Shall I pop it now? It's going to make a bit of a pop. Yep. Done.
We know nothing about global politics, but we do know that if the world's largest country invades your nation's airspace with a giant spy balloon, it's not that hard to send your own giant spy balloon back into theirs. Just try not to get arrested.
Yeah,
I think that was great.
I think it's funny. I think what they did was
awesome.
funny.
It's and a little bit of hypocrisy from China or from anyone to say someone will be offended by this. Get out of here.
Yeah, I suppose so. They did
Go
do
home.
it first.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was kind of fun.
That was
so that's Worldview, and it's time for us to move to our Yamcha section, guys. This is our Q&A where we answer your super chats. And for those of you who are not in the know, we do this live and then we leave it up for the weekend. On Monday, we cut it out of the show. But if you are a patron, you can always watch the full thing anytime you like. So for those of you who are not sticking around, and for those of you who are not watching on the weekend on Monday, we bid you adieu and stay awesome. I'm going to